How you doing? I'd like to start by complimenting Steve and the Temple football program. I thought they did an excellent job today. He's got a tough football team to play against. I think that showed early in the game. I think he's done a tremendous job with that football team. The first half, I thought our defense did a tremendous job of fighting through some very uphill field position situations to limit Temple to 10 points. That was one of the bigger events in the game as we went forward, because it certainly could have been more had we not played as good a defense as we did in the first half. And then I think in the second half we were able to execute offensively. I don't think it was any more than that. I wish I could tell you that there was a magical halftime speech, that you give to a team, but the message was very simple and very clear from myself and every coach on the staff. We need to execute better. And offensive football is about 11-man execution. And I think in the second half you saw that, and I think the results were pretty obvious. And we certainly continued to play excellent defense. We ended up blocking a punt, which is just a tremendous effort by Leonte Carew, a true freshman, Don Bosco High School. It was actually a punt-safe situation, and his job is to just control for the fake, and he comes off the edge full speed, clean, and as I've said in the past, the key to blocking kicks is to come off the ball like you're going to block it every time. And Leonte comes off the ball, full speed, around the corner, ends up blocking the kick, gives us great field position, opportunity to get another touchdown on a short field, and those are big momentum swings in the game. So I think ultimately it turned out to be a full team effort that we're really excited about going forward, and hopefully we can build off of it. Questions?
Kyle, what was your demeanor at halftime, and how did you address the team? Were you upset? Were you?
No. To me, I don't know that upset is what they needed, because, again, I thought we were playing really good defense. I thought we were doing a good job on special teams. I'd have to go back and look at it more specifically, but it certainly didn't hurt us in any way in the first half. And offensively, I think it was pretty clear to the coaches in the box and us on the sideline that we weren't that far away. But in offensive football, when you're not that far away, it seems like you're miles away. And that was kind of the story of the first half. But we felt like if we could just execute a little bit better, play just a little bit harder, we would be able to make some plays offensively.
So was it more motivational at halftime?
To me, it was more technical coaching. There's no lack of effort with this football team. They played tremendously hard, and they played hard in the first half. We just needed to play a little bit better on offense.
When you said technical, so it wasn't tactical so much as technical in terms of cleaning up individual technical issues each player was having?
Correct.
Gary's performance in the second half?
I thought it was excellent. I thought Gary made good decisions. The end of the first half interception to me is the end of the half deal where he's trying to get us in a position to kick a field goal. So I didn't really have an issue with that. Certainly would like him to slide earlier. We could avoid the fumble. That was a decision I think he'd like to have back. But in the second half, it's just tremendous. I thought he did a great job of, again, running the plays he was given and making sure that the ball went to the right person, not forcing anything. We're very pleased. I think it's another big step in the right direction for Gary, because I think there's a lot of young quarterbacks that when you're behind and you're on the road and you could begin to press a little bit, and I never felt that he was doing that.
Coach, your thoughts on Juwan Jameson? Surely you would think that not only did he run the ball well, but he also made a couple big catches. I guess had it not been for him, you feel like Gary would have kind of, if he had not been around today, you think Gary would have had a little bit of a struggle today?
I think any time you can't run the ball, your quarterback is going to struggle. Juwan Jameson has proven himself to be one of our best playmakers in general, not just because he's a running back. He's made plays with his hands in the passing game. He certainly has made plays in the running game consistently. So it would be hard for us to function if he wasn't there. But like anything else, if something were to happen, the next guy's got to step up, and then he becomes the starter, the full-time player, and we certainly have other talented players at that position. But Juwan has proven himself to be one of our better playmakers.
What you seeing? Kassim Green today made that interception, and Jamil Morrell made the good part during the play.
It was an excellent play by Jamil Morrell to sack the quarterback and really fumble the quarterback, force the ball out, and Kassim was kind of trailing the play and was able to capitalize on it, pick the ball up and run it in. I think probably I think Kassim would tell you most of the credit goes to Jamil for the sack and the fumble. He kind of had the fun part. He got to pick it up and scoop a score.
Well, Cal, did you open up the offense any in the second half? The last couple of weeks we've been, asking you about, maybe being a little conservative.
I don't feel we've been conservative. I wouldn't agree with that statement. I think different games play out in different ways. Every game is unique. The matchups are different. And week to week, I think what we've proven is we can win football games a lot of different ways.
You've done 10-0 in a row at Arkansas in the first quarter, 10-0 in the road here in the first half. What do you think it is about this team that enables it to, on the road especially? Probably a little easier, you would acknowledge, you could do that at home, come back at home, but to do that on the road twice.
I think the key is to have a group of players that really believe you have to play 60 minutes to win a football game. You have to play 60 minutes, and that's whether you're up or down, because it can happen to you the other way as well, where you could get up early in a game and then if you have an immature team, they start to think, okay, we've got them. You never have them. You don't have them until there's not enough time for the other team to catch up. So I think our team believes that. I think that's proven itself a couple times this year.
Well, Cal, could you talk about maybe having the firepower in the second half to make up a deficit like you did?
We have a talented quarterback and we have talented receivers, and they have the ability to make big plays when they present themselves. Now, the key to doing that is to execute. You got the protections got to execute. The running backs, tight ends have to fit into the protections to execute. The quarterback's got to deliver the ball to the right place. The receivers have to run the right routes at the right depths at the right timing. So there's a lot of things that go into it, and that's what makes offensive football tough. But I think we certainly did a better job of executing all 11 pieces of the puzzle in the second half.
You seem to have run a more pass plays in the second half. It seemed like Temple may have been lulled to sleep by the first half by, the running game.
You'd have to ask Steve that question. I never felt watching their players that they were lulled to sleep. I think their players played tremendously hard and with a lot of passion. But part of the problem in the first half for us was field position. We just didn't have very good field position, and when you start on the -21, the -23, the -28, the -6, and then the -25. The further back you start, the chances of you scoring go way down. If your field position gets better, like it did in the second half, where we started one drive on the +49, one drive on the +26, certainly your odds go up just from a percentage standpoint. I don't know if I'd have to look at the stats to know if we threw it a lot more in the second half than the first half, but I know we ran it better in the second half, and that opens up the passing game.
Talk about Logan Ryan. Looked like he had another typically active game.
Yeah, Logan's an excellent football player. I think what makes Logan such a good football player is his ability to affect the run game as well. He's not a cover corner. At Rutgers, cover corners don't need to apply, so to speak. You have to be able to fit into the run game. You have to be able to blitz, and he really is a complete player. I think that shows every week.
Coach, it looked like you did a lot better of a job bottling up Coyer in the second half. Did you see a difference that allowed your defense to do that?
I thought we did a good job in the first half. I would like to think that nobody would ever get a yard on us, but I don't know if that's the reality, of major college football. They have a good scheme, they have good players. I look at the first half. They had an 11-play drive right out the gate where we were able to cause a fumble, which is a good job by them of game planning, and I'm sure there were some things in there that they hadn't shown before, and that's generally what you get early in a game. But then we had a 3-and-out. They scored a touchdown. Then they had 6 plays, then 2 more 3-and-outs. So, I thought our defense played well throughout the game. If we didn't get that kind of effort from the defense in the first half, that could have been a significantly different score because of what the field position battle was in the first half.
Did you see Deron Harmon today?
What did I see from Deron Harmon? I'd have to look at the film to see specifically. Deron's been a very consistent player for us. I don't have any reason to believe he wasn't consistent today. Again, I thought we played good team defense today.
Kyle, we 7-0 and then be unbeaten going to mid-November in Big East play. Why don't you just talk about where you're at right now?
Well, today we were 1-0. I think that's another step in the right direction for us. And now we're going to move out of conference for a couple of games again. So we're certainly pleased with where we sit in the conference right now. But where we are right now doesn't get us what we want. So I think we got to enjoy this win because when you only play 12 games a year and you're fighting for that 13th, so we know there's going to be a 13th, but we know what we want it to be. You got to enjoy each win, and we'll give them a little bit of time to do that until we come back tomorrow. And then we got to put our sights on being 1-0 again because ultimately our goals aren't satisfied yet, and until they are, we got to keep refocusing every week.
Kyle, how concerned are you about the recent first half starts?
I am more interested in how we finish games. Now, certainly, when you say that, it's not really accurate because we played really good defense in the first half of the game. We didn't execute offensively. So you're not talking about a team issue. We need to do a little bit better job executing in the first half of this game. We didn't do that. Fortunately, we did a better job in the second half. But I felt like the team emotionally, schematically was ready to play. You got to give the other team some credit also. You know, they have an excellent group of players that was also undefeated in Big East play that gave us some issues in the first half, and we were able to fight through them and overcome them.
Got time for 2 more questions?
Coach, your thoughts on, I mean, in general, Gary, I mean, you know, again, he did have kind of a slow start, but like you said before in the last question, you're concerned about how you finish. Do you expect more of that, I guess, in the next 2 out-of-conference games before you head back to the Big East?
More of what?
More of, you know, his passing ability, his running type of ability. Do you certainly expect it to be more consistent as things go on?
I won't really know that until I look at these teams that we're playing specifically and see what the matchups are and schematically where we think, you know, our advantages may be, and we do the game planning. But for us offensively, it always starts with running the football. The better we run the football, the better we'll throw the football, because it opens up the one-on-ones. And I think that was what, really, if you ask me why were we able to execute in the passing game so much better in the second half, the answer is because we ran the ball a lot better in the second half.
You're probably happy that this is also a very young football team, and they're also taking great steps, right?
Well, we've got some older guys on defense, but we've got some younger guys on offense that I think are moving in the right direction. But I think that's the nature of college football. Every year, everybody's going to graduate players.
Coach, looked like you guys managed the clock a little better, got a little bit more possession in the second half. Does that fall on Gary's shoulders, or where does that clock management come from?
I don't know if we managed the clock any better. I think we had more first downs. You know, if you don't have first downs, it's tough to have time. You know, you don't have time of possession when you don't have first downs. So I think we had a few more first downs in the second half, and then certainly when you get up in a game, that changes. You know, once the clock becomes your ally, you certainly are doing things intentionally to make sure you bring down, you know, the time that's remaining for your opponent to catch up. So I think that's probably more indicative of it than anything. It wasn't any attempt in the first half to manage or not manage it.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.